Sinder, Book 2 in the Diabhal trilogy, tells two stories. In one, a 21-year-old Ceit Robertson is struggling with the legacy she has inherited as matriarch of the society. Many of the younger residents of Cinder Avenue are starting to move on and away, breaking with tradition, and those who are left are clinging to the old ways that used to rule the cul-de-sac. It is the dying of the light for the society, the beginning of the end. A chance for Ceit to break the ties that have bound her and Alan to Cinder Avenue for good. In the second story, the reader sees the birth of the society as we know it. Ainsley Robertson is a young woman in Cork, Ireland, living in a community strictly controlled by her abusive and domineering father. They exist right on the edge of acceptable in a time when church ruled all. She is pregnant outside of marriage, which is nothing short of a crime in 1924 Ireland, a time that saw the start of the mother and baby homes. As she learns her ability to call the fae and the forest creatures her people worship far exceeds her father's, she must carve a new fate for this society, one that will lead them to the world her great-granddaughter will one day come to rule. Cinder is about beginnings and endings. It is the story of how superstition and tradition start and its inevitable demise when practice and dogma become antiquated and stale. In Cait's time, she is watching the elders resist the modern world. She is combating a mindset that has become rusted into place, like a tin man in a field. Ainsley is also seeking change, a break from a controlling and patriarchal world, a chance to save her daughter from those that would see her thrust into the infamous Bessborough mother and baby home. Cinder is a story about how legacies start and how they die. It's a message that moves past a Venice Beach cul-de-sac or a village in Ireland and weaves its way into the world around us. How do you progress when nostalgia becomes tantamount to obstruction? When mindset becomes so narrow it obscures the light? How do you sever the ties that seek to bind and inhibit? Cinder is a story about tenacity and the courage it takes to recognize the danger of tradition for tradition's sake. It tells the story of two extraordinary women, both of which hold unearthly power over this realm and the next. One will plant the seeds of the society, the other will tear the roots from the ground. How far will each go? And who will be burned as the earth is scorched in their wake? Is Ceit a demon reborn? Is Ainsley? Perhaps. But in a world where the machinations of man are far more frightening than demons and devils, perhaps the devil is not what we should fear.